back to another episode of Kate and Isaiah Living Large. I'm Isaiah.
And I'm Kate.
And on this episode, I'm going to ask questions about Weight Watchers. I'm going to learn a little bit more about Caitlin's experience with it and some questions I've been meaning to ask. So that's what we're going to do. But before we get started, did you know that we have a thing going on this weekend?
Yeah. Yes, I do know.
Oh, my goodness.
Isn't it amazing?
We can finally talk about it. We are going to be emceeing the opening of Fog City Con.
Yeah.
For those of you guys who don't know what Fog City Con is, it is held at the library. I don't know what year it is in now. It's been a couple years.
I think it's been like close to 10.
Probably. But it's basically a con that's held at the library. They have cosplayers, they have vendors, they have lots of different things to experience, and it's the library, so you get to kind of also experience the library, which is kind of cool. It's uptown I always get this confused. It's Market Square?
Yeah, it's Market Square.
I always get Brunswick Square and Market Square mixed up because the market, I feel like the market should be next to the Market Square. I get it confused.
Yeah.
But we will be there emceeing the opening ceremony. Come check us out. I believe it starts at 12:30. So be there slightly early so you can check us out emceeing the opening for that. And feel free to stop and say hi when you see us.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm super excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I've actually never been to a con of any kind, so it'll be a new experience for me.
I have been to multiple cons. Fog, for me, there are two cons that kind of mark the start of con season, which is one is Fog City. It's like the second one to me that really it marks the opening of con, because like from here on out, it's like almost every other weekend there's a new con. So
in St. John?
Not in St. John.
St. John cons?
Not in St. John. All across the Maritimes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So this is a good time of year if you're a nerd.
Yeah, and what I didn't know until I was reading all the stuff that's happening at Fog City is how diverse it is and how many different things are going on. Like there's a bookmaking workshop with Julia Wright and Gemma Marr. I believe that's the other
two of my favorite people.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I love Julia Wright, and I've never met Gemma Marr.
I love Gemma, but
I know her mom really well.
Oh.
Because Gemma's from Carleton County. Because all roads lead back there.
It's true.
And her mom used to work at the Bugle Observer long before my time, but Wendy is her name, and this is like 6 degrees of New Brunswick separation. But when I was there working at the paper, she was working in the MP's office.
I know Gemma through Stephen Hero.
Okay.
Yeah. How I met Gemma.
I'd like to meet Gemma someday.
Well, maybe you'll get to meet her on Saturday.
Well, she's going to be there Sunday.
Oh, well, then you won't get to meet her on Saturday. I'll probably be there Sunday.
Yeah. I'll be in. I'm actually have a very exciting thing happening. I have my first corporate gig also on Saturday night in Moncton. So after, the lifestyles of the
rich and famous.
Well, I wouldn't say rich or famous, of the notorious.
Perfect.
That I'm jetting off to Moncton to do some comedy and some trivia at a CAA function.
Are you just jump in a private jet and fly to Moncton? And by private jet, I mean your private vehicle that you own.
Will be my Toyota.
That prestigious jet, the Toyota jet.
It is a very lovely Toyota. It's Toyota Highlander. It's a lovely vehicle. I would have never gotten it on my own, but my parents gave it to me. It's their old one.
Yeah, their gig's coming up.
Yeah, I do.
We are at the end of April.
No, going to Charlottetown May 10th.
Ooh, yeah.
So I'm pretty excited about that, and some stuff percolating for the Comedy Club in Fredericton in June, which I'm really happy about. Yes. More word on that later because I don't know who else is on the show yet, but I'm also be a part of a fundraiser show in Fredericton for Amanda Diggins, who is Kelly Lamrock's partner, and they open the Comedy Club together. And she's recently diagnosed with breast cancer and only 41 years old.
Crazy.
And they've got a little baby, little toddler, Molly. And so she's undergoing treatments, and treatments are quite expensive and the drugs are quite expensive and all of that. So we're doing a fundraising comedy show for her over 3 nights, and it's called The Amanda's Wonky Boobs.
That's a good one.
And like pretty much so many good comedians on each of the shows. I'm doing the Friday night show, and there's a bunch of Johners doing the Friday night show.
Sweet.
So it should be good.
Good times, yeah. And hopefully the April showers are done and we have May flowers.
I'm hoping. This has been a lot of rain.
It has been a lot of rain. So hoping for some May flowers. Let's hope. Yeah. Let's get into it. Why not? Let's talk about Weight Watchers. So yeah. I guess my first question, you know what? Can you tell the people a little bit about what Weight Watchers is before we...
How about I tell you a little bit about what my experience with Weight Watchers has been in my lifetime?
Let's do that.
And then how about I ask the questions of me? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
I'm just kidding. I'm the worst guest ever.
It is the Caitlin show as usual.
No, it's not. This is your idea.
The Caitlin show after all.
This topic was your idea.
This is true.
I had pitched an entirely different topic. So my experience with the Weight Watchers is my mom went to Weight Watchers when I was very young, after my sister was born, and maybe I think before my sister was born too. And she became like a lifetime Weight Watchers member, and like it was a whole thing. And so I've been familiar with the program, or not familiar. I've been aware of the program since I was little. My mom ran over my tricycle one time going to a Weight Watchers appointment. So I've always hated it. No. And so that was fine. So my first experience with Weight Watchers was when I was in my late teens, early 20s, that era. And they had like a book and you had points and you had to write everything down, and you had to go to meetings and go to weigh-ins every week. And it was a lot, and I didn't really enjoy it. And it was fine for a while. Like, I'm not saying it didn't work, because that would be untrue, but for me, it was a lot of effort or work. And then moving on, when I was living in Woodstock, so in my mid-20s, I went back again, and the book was a little bit more efficient, but you still had to go in and go to Weight Watchers meetings every week and weigh in and like be there. And the being there with other people had its advantages, and I met some nice people through that, and some people got a lot out of that. Wasn't for me. It just wasn't. And so like I didn't, and you have to be there at a specific time, and writing everything down. I hated carrying the notebook around, and I used to do things like, if I eat it at night and standing in the kitchen, the points don't count. They do.
What?
Yeah, there's still calories. It's weird.
Dang.
So now I've resisted Weight Watchers since then. And my mom and my sister were both doing it. They're like, it's so much easier now. There's an app. And I'm like, yeah, well, so does MyFitnessPal, is also an app and has a lot of the same functionality. And that is true.
Yep.
I will say it does have a lot of the same functionality. It tracks your calories. And especially if you have some existing knowledge and you know about macros and can do all that. It does, you can use MyFitnessPal, and if that works for you, that's fantastic. Like, and I know people who do it. For me, I looked at the Weight Watchers and I begrudgingly signed up, because I was like, okay, I'm not using MyFitnessPal. There's no accountability there. I'm paying for Weight Watchers, and it's really not that expensive. I got it on a deal, and I think I paid $12 a month or something like that, okay. Which seems like a lot for an app that exists for free in another place that's similar, but I'll say the functionality of it is a lot better.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, so my experience with Weight Watchers is I've never been in Weight Watchers. I just know some people that have done Weight Watchers before. Realistically, my true experience is commercials on TV and laughing that there was a Weight Watchers between Mary Brown's and Harvey's.
And it closed. Yeah. And I think that's where Papa John's is now or something. Not Papa John's.
There's something there.
Yeah, there's another fast food.
And those were the two things that I associate with Weight Watchers.
Which is totally fair St. John experience.
So I guess my first question to you is why Weight Watchers and why not, a private person to do your meal planning, or a different type of app?
Yeah, well, Weight Watchers is scientifically backed, and they use science and they modify their program regularly. And like that's and they care. Like, it's not that they care; they're a big corporation like anything else, but they do take the effort. They could have fizzled in the 80s, but they don't. They keep renovating to be appealing to people and appealing to and accurate. Like, so there's 0 point foods or whatever, which are foods that are good, they imply are good for you to eat, and a lot of those actually have calories. So if you're just doing a plain calorie count, it wouldn't have the same effect as like, oh, okay, like a grilled chicken breast with no oil or whatever is a 0 point food. But if you ate 10 chicken breasts a day, well, you're still consuming a pile of calories. Yeah. And so if you're not applying a little bit of logic to this, there could be some flaws. It could be like, I don't understand why this isn't working. Or if you hate vegetables, and yeah, you can avoid eating vegetables, but they're a 0 point food and you kind of need vegetables, you're probably not going to have the same level of success. So what drew me into Weight Watchers was that they are science backed, that they do have some flexibility. And it's what we talk about all the time. You can live a normal life. You can eat what you really can eat whatever you want. You just have to track it.
Yeah. Okay.
And so like last night, I hadn't eaten much all day, but I had eaten well all day and a fair number of 0 point food. So I had a pile of points left over at night, and I went to Big Tide after seeing an amazing James Mullinger show. And they have new cheesecakes there.
Yes, they do.
That Mark, their cook, is making himself. And oh my God. And I'd seen them around and I'd heard everybody talk about them, but I'd resisted them on Wednesdays. And like,
I had the chocolate one a while back.
I had the tortoise one last night, and it was 21 points, which is high. Like, some people on their plans only have 27 points in a day or 23 points a day. I'm fortunate enough to have started with 72 and now I have 67. So, because I'm real fat, but I went for it. I had that piece of cheesecake, and I could do that with no guilt and no shame because it all fit. And will I eat cheesecake every day? No. Is it wise to eat cheesecake every day? Of course not.
Is it tasty though? Probably.
Yeah, but I wouldn't enjoy it every day.
You're not on the spectrum like me, apparently.
No, it would just become normal.
Okay.
And then I'd be like, oh, now just part of my life is eating cheesecake. And yeah, it's pretty good. It's like eating yogurt or something. I like yogurt, but I eat it every day. So it's not like a big treat. And I'm trying not to apply that treat message to food, but it was, and I enjoyed every bite of that cheesecake. And and in the past, when I succumbed to like a craving like that, they're like, well, get some off the wagon then. Might as well buy a bag of chips on the way home. Which is what I find this program helps me avoid, is that, oh, I guess I failed. Might as well eat everything in sight.
So when you were making the decision to go with Weight Watchers, what was your fear of getting into it? What was, like, I know you had the bad experiences prior, so what was your fear this time around?
Oh, I just didn't want to. I didn't feel good about writing stuff down, but there's an app now and you can literally scan barcodes and it tells you how many points something is.
Nice.
It's so user friendly, and I could pick like a diabetic program over the regular program. That's so good. The regular program, all fruits are also 0 points, but not on the diabetic program because you have to be more cautious of that.
Right.
Which is logical and
makes sense.
Rooted in science.
Yeah, like, makes sense. So talk me through the starting process of starting Weight Watchers. So you log into the app, or do you have to go on the website first?
I went to the website, and then
was it a big purchase one where you had to do it on your computer or on your phone?
I did it on my phone.
That joke didn't hit you right now. Whatever. It's a joke. I
didn't get it.
You don't know the joke?
What did you say?
A millennial joke is big purchases have to be done on a computer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Whatever. I'm cool. You're not. It's fine. Anyway, moving on. So
you just maybe more Gen Z than you.
Oh no,
I'm actually an elder millennial. I'm pushing Gen X.
so you went online, you went on the website, and you purchased it, and it was on sale, which is super exciting. What's the normal price? Do you know?
Like $24.99. I don't really know. Okay. I think pretty much everyone can get it on sale. I think that's their gimmick is you're in and you're like, no, come back. And then if you're like, that's too much money, you walk away from it. They send you emails and tell us the price that you want it to be.
Perfect. So then you purchased you paid for it.
Yeah. And I signed up for a year because that was the way to get it the cheapest.
Yeah. And then what do you does it ask you to just plug in your age and weight, or does it ask you for more?
Ask your age. I don't remember. Age, weight, gender, like sex.
The general
stuff. And what else? Nothing serious. Just
I was just curious if it asked like your like chest size or your like waist size, that kind of information.
No, it doesn't ask for that. And
I wasn't sure if it was trying to calculate your BMI.
No, it doesn't try to do that because I think it recognizes that it's and they've always been and two, this is can easily be criticized, but they've always used weight like a scale as their main measurement. Indicator. And I know, and that that's not the only measurement, and I try to keep all of that in mind when doing this. But I will say, it does anyway. There are mental things that happen when you're doing that, and you can pay attention to the non-scale victories and stuff. And I've had many non-scale victories, and I've had some scale victories.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Right now.
So the app, the way there, I guess the website or the app, it calculates, based off of your weight, how many points you get in the run of a day.
Yeah, in the run of a day, and then there are also bonus weekly points, which I have not dipped into all those except for once on my birthday.
Well, fair, it's your birthday.
Yeah.
And then it requires you to enter your weight every week, or is it every couple weeks?
I think you can choose. I chose weekly.
Weekly, okay.
And I've been consistent on going initially I was doing it Mondays, and then I decided that doing it the day after the weekend was not the best for me. And so I changed it to Thursdays.
Oh, Thursdays. I always weigh myself on Fridays.
I figured that I was more consistently going to the gym on Thursdays than I am on Fridays, because if I have something else that I have to leave town for, it's more likely that I'm going to skip a Friday. So I wanted to make sure it was the day that I was going to the gym.
Fair enough.
It was all very logical for me.
Does the app notify you to update your weight, or do you just have to remember?
It does. Yeah.
Oh, it does.
Yeah. It says, today you haven't uploaded your weight yet. Today it's weigh-in day.
Okay, that's
all
nice.
Kind of, yeah.
Because that would be something that I would definitely struggle with, is like remembering to enter my weight.
And it rewards you, and just in subconscious ways, or not even subconscious is the wrong word, but if you go progress, it'll tell you, you've tracked your food 7 of 7 days. You've weighed it in one.
It gamifies it. That was my next question. Does it gamify so it gives you the percentage spindle and the check marks and things like that,
and it tracks your a graph of your weight going down and 27 pounds since start, and
that's cool.
And so that means that it's and I find that graph, although it hasn't happened yet, when you do inevitably have those blips, because bodies are weird.
Yep.
And they do things like
accidentally gain weight for no reason whatsoever.
Right. Usually, and it's usually cyclical for me, usually related to girl stuff, which, I have an IAD. And so I don't necessarily even know when that is, but I can always tell because I get ravenously hungry. And then I will gain a little bit of weight, or I'll retain a little bit of water and have a very negative week. Either I won't lose anything or I'll gain a little bit. And then the following week, it'll be a big drop.
Okay.
And I have to be aware of that, because you don't think of that in the moment. You're like, why did I gain 2 pounds? I don't want that. But find the graph very nice, because you see the dip down and okay, it's still trending the right direction.
Yeah. I'd be interested, and I wish I had looked it up before we started this. The demographic of male versus female identifiers in like who actually the demographic who actually uses Weight Watchers.
I guarantee it's female.
Yeah, I guess my real thought is I would be interested to know how many males actually use it. Because I think you're definitely right. It's definitely a way more female oriented, and I think they market much more towards.
All weight loss is marketed more to females than
This
males.
is true.
All of it. What's marketed to males is like
muscle gain,
pump up workout, like Bowflex.
My reels, my Instagram reels are just constantly now, since I started going to the gym, muscle things.
Yeah,
which is interesting to me. It gives me a lot of it is specifically targeted to how to use a machine. Like, oh, you see people doing this with their lat pulls, but really you should be doing this if you want to hit this specific muscle and this and that. That's what I'm getting targeted right now.
That's so funny.
I mean, I also am paying for an app to tell me what to do at the gym. So
so it's feeding your information too. That's cool. How's that working for you?
I really, really like it. So I'm using this app called Fitbod. Yeah. And it basically target. You can set it to do whatever, but you set it. But when you set it up, you set it. You kind of like Weight Watchers, where you do what your weight is, and then you also set your goal weight. And how
set that too,
how long you want it for, and then you can like set what your gym has, so it recognizes what your gym has, and then you can set how you want it to feed you your workout routine. So you can either do it either push pull style or muscle targeted style,
right?
And then each day it refreshes to tell you, hey, this is the ones you're going to do today. That's the ones you're going to do. And you can set for which days you work, or which days you go to work out, and how many days you want to work out. And
that's cool.
And it updates it. It also does the gamification, just like Weight Watchers, where it has like the ticker and the check marks. And
that's really awesome. You're liking it?
Yeah. So far, it's really good. It helps me know what I'm doing when I go to the gym, which has always been my problem. Is I've talked about it before, is when I go to the gym, I always have like the same routine, and it just kind of gets boring. This one kind of changes out the different,
forces you to do different things,
which is nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. All right. Weight Watchers. Back to Weight Watchers. Enough about my app. What about your app?
Yeah. Would you recommend yours for people?
It depends on what you're trying to do. So if you're just someone trying to lose weight, no, I would not recommend it for anyone just that wants to lose weight and things like that. If you actually want to like go to the gym and do muscle building, that's definitely for that.
Cool.
But it's definitely not a lose weight type of
app.
Before I ask you that question about Weight Watchers, because I'm going to ask you that question at the end of here, but I want to know what are some things that you don't like about it? Like we've talked a little bit about the stuff you like about it. What are the stuff you don't like about
Honestly, there's nothing I don't like about it. No? If I'm being completely honest, for me, it is the answer I needed at the time I needed it.
Okay.
All the things that I never liked about Weight Watchers before have been eradicated.
That's good.
Because of 21st century technology.
Hell yeah. Is there anything you wish it did extra?
No.
No?
Honestly, no, because if it does too much, because it requires more input. Because the thing I haven't been tracking, which I could and should, and it encourages me to, is my physical activity.
Gotcha.
Because you end up with more weekly points, the more physical activity you do. But I kind of want to keep the points where they are, so that right now
you're doing more calorie out than
right now. I have so many points that if I ate all of my points every day, I'd never lose any weight. I don't think, because there's just so many. But it does provide that for those times where I do want to eat a piece of cheesecake.
Does it not tie into other apps? Does a tie-in app allow you to tie to other apps, or you have to input your?
You have to input it.
Oh, see that would be something.
I don't know that. I shouldn't say that conclusively. I think you might be able to tie it into other apps. The more I think about it, but I don't have anything else.
Yeah, because that's what I would if But the one thing that I would wish my Fitbod app did, and it kind of does it, but it doesn't do it as well, is I wish it would tie it into like my FitPal does this one where it ties into like the Google Fitness one or your Fitbit or things like that, where those like ones where it calculates your movement all the time and things like that. And that's not a super scientific thing, because you know everyone moves weird, and you can like be sitting and gain like 700 steps. But I like those kind of things that tie into other apps that I use.
Yeah, I think the more I think about it, I think you can. I just don't have anything else. Okay. Like I don't have a Fitbit. I don't wear a watch. Like,
would you recommend Weight Watchers?
100%. Yeah, it's rooted in science. There's really no harm, no foul with it. If you, especially the thing I haven't talked about this, and because I haven't really tapped into them myself, there's all kinds of recipes. And if you're like struggling with something, either you can look up information and you can reach out to live people who can coach you. I haven't felt the need to do any of that yet, but that does exist for people who are like, I don't know what's happening. And the other thing I like about it is you can track what you've eaten over time. And excuse me, when I inevitably hit a plateau, which will happen. Well, then I can actually look at, all right, what kinds of foods am I eating? And there's a lot of progress that you can make over time. That's not just, you can make it as simple or as complex as you want. Yeah. That's what I guess I'm trying to say. And for me, it's the right moment in time for it. And it's a nice, slow, gradual weight loss. Like I've lost 27 pounds, pardon me, since the beginning of March. Which is significant. Like if I were smaller. I gotta have the hiccups. Get this episode over fast.
Percentage wise, it's not.
Percentage wise, it's like, you know,
but it's still a lot.
It's I'm not good at math. It's less than a quarter of what I want to lose overall.
Okay. But it's still a significant amount.
Yeah. And it feels good. And like I can feel it. Yeah. Nearly 30 pounds. Of course I can feel it.
Well, I mean, we have a month before we're going to have to walk that 5K.
Yeah. We'll have to talk about that in the next episode.
I think I tapped out everything I really had questions about. Do you have any last things you wanted to say about Weight Watchers at all?
Yeah, if anybody has any questions that they like just want a normal person's answer, don't hesitate to reach out, comment or whatever. And also, it doesn't, if it's a financial burden, there are other things like MyFitnessPal has a lot of the same functionality. But if you've got, you know, $12 a month, and what is that, like a coffee 6 times? Well, no, coffee 4 times, depending on where you go.
Or one Starbucks coffee.
Or one Starbucks coffee. You know, if you're worried about it and you're struggling, I find it to be a very good program.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, anything that will help. If I always like anything that you find that might be able to help, even if you try it for a little bit and it isn't for you, right?
Yeah, you can always quit.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a wrap. Where can people find you on the internet?
We can find us at Kate and Isaiah Living Large on the Facebook, and that's really probably the most reliable way to find me.
Perfect. I am at Maritime Brews on all the social medias, and at Tweak the Profit on some of the social medias. Of course, we still have the Buy Me a Coffee going. And if you are listening on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to your podcast, if you can like, share, subscribe over there, that'd be appreciated. And of course, if you want to see our beautiful faces, we are on YouTube. And I should compile like a picture of like us from the start just to see all the craziness. Anyway, but if you are on YouTube, come on over, like, share, subscribe over on here. It goes a long way to helping out. But until next week, bye.